And then next, you know, my client actually, she put me onto these. You know, she was like, hey, you know, I'm on a go. You know, what do you think about these? High in protein, moderate amount of carbs. And I was like, you know what, why not give it a try? I'm not too much big of a fan when it comes to tuna, but I definitely like things that make it easier. You know what I'm saying? I like to meal prep, but I also be on the go a lot. And as a result, I be trying to find foods, items that be high in protein. And like I said earlier, man, these definitely bread and butter. So I definitely, if you're looking for something, these gonna be it. My cheese, you know, I try to keep it moderate when it comes to the amount of cheese that I eat outside of olive oil. You know, these kind of cheese right here is what I typically put with pretty much any dish that I'm having. And then on top of that, you know, you gotta have your eggs. You know, it's a blessing, right? Especially in this economy to be able to afford, you know, these kind of eggs. But I like to invest in a high amount of eggs just because it saves me in the long run. I eat pretty much between 1 and 2 eggs per day. And then, you know, I mix it in with the egg whites. I want to make sure I said that correctly. I just started using egg whites just relatively just because I want to watch out for my cholesterol and sodium intake. A lot of the foods, like I said, man, like I'm really trying to be more intentional. You know, I eat a lot of bacon, a lot of sausage, but I want to make healthier choices. You know, we got the turkey bacon, maple flavor. These are really good. You know, it's substitute, you know, it gets the job done. I'm not gonna lie to you. The almond breeze chocolate, you know, I got 2 of these, and then I also got the almond. These are really good just for my shakes and proteins. And then I got the small chickens. The difference between these ones, like I say, like the versatility of being able to chop it up, and then what I can do. There's 3 different ways that I personally like to use. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can saute it. That's one of them. You know what I'm saying? I like to put it in the air fryer. It tastes just like fried. And then lastly, I like to put just a little amount of flour on it. That way I can still get some form of carb. It tastes similar to fried chicken, but it's not all the way there. You get what I'm saying? And then we got the strawberry jam. I don't eat too much of it. You know, when it comes to my breakfast sandwiches, man, I put just a little bit on the keto bread, and man, that'd be it. But for the most part, man, I think I went over everything. Again, I shop for convenience and what's near me. You know, we have a Walmart, we have a Costco. I know that there's plenty of great choices out there. You know, it's very critical when it comes to your selection of foods. I like to keep mine high in protein, moderate in carbs and fats. You know, this is pretty much everything that I typically eat on a regular basis. And then I'm gonna give you a highlight, just a scheme of some of the products that I use for, you know, my daily intake when it comes to like my supplements.